Steinberg Cubase 12 Pro. We start lesson 21. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, so as not to miss new videos. And we start lesson 21. Remaining record time. The max record time displays the time that is left for recording. The available time depends on the current setup, for example, on the amount of tracks that are record enabled, the sample rate for your project, and the available hard disk space. To open the display, select Studio More Options Max Record Time. Note: the remaining recording time is also shown in the status line above the track list. If you use individual record folders to store your tracks on different drives, the time display refers to the medium with the least available storage space. Emptying the retrospective record buffer. Lock record. Lock record. The lock record function prevents you from accidentally deactivating record mode. Select Edit Key Commands. In the Transport category, assign key commands to the lock record and unlock record commands. If lock record is activated and you want to enter stop mode, confirm this in the corresponding dialog. You can also use the unlock record key command first and then enter stop mode as usual. Note: an automatic punch out at the right locator position is ignored in lock record mode. Remaining record time. Importing audio and MIDI files. Importing audio and MIDI files. You can add audio and MIDI files to your project by importing them. Lock record. Audio file import. Audio file import. You can import compressed and uncompressed audio files in a variety of different formats. You can also import audio from audio CDs or extract the audio of video files. Related links. Importing audio files. Importing audio CD tracks. Importing audio from video files. Importing recycle files. Importing media. Importing audio and MIDI files. Setting up audio file import options. Setting up audio file import options. You can specify how to handle audio files on import. Procedure. In the Preferences dialog, select Editing Audio. Select an option from the On Import Audio Files pop-up menu. Click OK. Result: the import settings are saved and take effect when you import audio. If you selected Open Options dialog, the Import Options dialog opens on every import and allows you to make your changes. If you selected Use Settings, the settings specified in the On Import Audio Files section of the Preferences dialog are used. Related links. Import Options dialog for audio files. On Import Audio File Settings. Audio File Import. Import Options dialog for audio files. Import Options dialog for audio files. The Import Options dialog allows you to make specific settings for the audio import. When you import audio files, an Open Options dialog is activated in the On Import Audio Files section of the Preferences dialog. Editing Audio page, the Import Options dialog opens. Import Options dialog for single file import. Import Options dialog for multi-file import. Copy file to project folder / copy all files to project folder. Copies the audio file to the audio folder of the project and causes the clip refer to the copy. Deactivate this option if you want the clip to refer to the original file in the original location. In this case, it is marked as external in the pool. Convert to project settings / convert to project settings and copy to project folder if needed. Converts the imported file if the sample rate or the bit depth differ from the settings in the project setup dialog. For single file import, you can choose which properties are converted. Split channels. Split stereo or multi-channel audio files into a corresponding number of mono files, one for each channel, and copies the imported files to the audio folder of the project. The split files are inserted into the project and into the pool as separate mono tracks. The Name Format pop-up menu allows you to specify the names of the split files. This allows for compatibility with other products when exchanging audio files. Do not ask again. Always applies the current settings without opening the dialog again. You can reset this option in the Preferences dialog, Editing, Audio page. Related links. Setting up audio file import options. Setting up audio file import options. On Import Audio File Settings. On Import Audio File Settings. You can set up standard settings that are performed automatically each time you import audio files. When you import audio files and use settings is activated in the On Import Audio Files section of the Preferences dialog, Editing, Audio page, the settings are used for importing audio. Copy file to project folder / copy all files to project folder. Copies the audio file to the audio folder of the project and causes the clip refer to the copy. Deactivate this option if you want the clip to refer to the original file in the original location. In this case, it is marked as external in the pool. Convert to project settings / convert to project settings and copy to project folder if needed. Converts the imported file if the sample rate or the bit depth differ from the settings in the project setup dialog. For single file import, you can choose which properties are converted. Split channels. Split stereo or multi-channel audio files into a corresponding number of mono files, one for each channel, and copies the imported files to the audio folder of the project. The split files are inserted into the project and into the pool as separate mono tracks. The Name Format pop-up menu allows you to specify the names of the split files. This allows for compatibility with other products when exchanging audio files. Import Options dialog for audio files. Importing audio files. Importing audio files. You can import uncompressed audio and compressed audio in several formats. Procedure. Select File, Import Audio File. In the file dialog that opens, locate and select the audio file, and click Open. Make your changes in the Import Options dialog. Note: if Use Settings is activated in the Preferences dialog, Editing, Audio page, the corresponding import settings are used. Result: in the project window, an event referencing the audio file is inserted into the selected track at the project cursor position. If no track was selected, a new track is created. A new audio clip is created and added to the pool. If you chose a compressed audio file other than FLAC, Cubase copies the original compressed file and converts it to WAV format, Windows, or AIFF format, macOS. Note: the resulting WAV/AIFF file is significantly larger than the original compressed file. The imported file is placed in the audio folder of the project. Related links. Setting up audio file import options. On Import Audio File Settings. Supported compressed audio file formats. Supported compressed audio file formats. Cubase allows you to import compressed audio files. The following compressed audio file formats are supported. FLAC file. This is an open source format that reduces the size of audio files by 50% to 60% compared to regular WAV files. The file extension is .FLAC. MPEG-1 Layer 3 file. This is a family of standards used for encoding audiovisual information, such as movies, video, and music in a digital compressed format. Cubase can read MPEG Layer 2 and MPEG Layer 3. MP3 files are highly compressed files that still provide good audio quality. The file extension is .mp3. Ogg Vorbis file. This is an open-source, patent-free audio encoding and streaming technology. The Ogg Vorbis encoder uses variable bitrate encoding. It offers small, compressed audio files of comparatively high audio quality. The file extension is .ogg. Windows Media Audio File, Windows only. This is an audio file format defined by Microsoft Incorporated. WMA files can be decreased in size, with no loss of audio quality. WMA Pro features the possibility of mixing down to 5.1 surround sound. The file extension is .wma. Importing audio files. Importing audio CD tracks. Importing audio CD tracks. You can import audio from audio CDs into Cubase projects. Procedure. Select File, Import Audio CD to import CD tracks into the project window. Activate every audio file that you want to import in the copy column. Optional, set a default name and a destination folder for the imported audio files. Click the Copy button to create a local copy of the audio files or sections. Click OK. Result: the copied audio files are imported into the project window and inserted into new tracks at the project cursor position. By default, imported audio CD tracks are saved as WAV files, Windows, or AIFF files, macOS, in the audio folder of the current project. New audio clips are created and added to the pool. Note: you can also import audio files to the pool without importing them into the project window. Related links. Importing media. Supported compressed audio file formats. Import from audio CD dialog. Import from audio CD dialog. The Import from Audio CD dialog allows you to specify how the CD tracks are imported. To open the Import from Audio CD dialog, select File, Import Audio CD. Drive. Opens a pop-up menu that allows you to select the correct CD drive. Speed, Windows only. Allows you to select the data transfer speed. Note: while you normally want to use the fastest possible speed, you may have to select a slower speed for flawless audio extraction. Eject CD. Opens the CD drive. Secure mode, Windows only. Activates error checking and correction when reading the CD. Columns. The columns in the dialog have the following functions. Copy. Activate this option for the tracks that you want to copy/import. Hashtag. Shows the track number. CD track. The name of the CD track. On import, this is used as file name. It is provided automatically from CDDB, if available. To rename a track, click the track name and enter a new name. Length. The length of the audio CD track in minutes and seconds. Size. The file size of the audio CD track in MB. Copy start. The start of the section that is imported. On the ruler, drag the left marker to the right to adjust this. Copy end. The end of the section that is imported. On the ruler, drag the right marker to the left to adjust this. The ruler. The ruler has the following functions. Play tracks. Plays back the selected track from the start to the end or from the left marker to the right marker. Stop playback. Stops playback. Play from left marker. Starts playback at the left marker. Play to right marker. Starts playback a few moments prior to the right marker and stops at the right marker. Left marker. Allows you to set the copy start manually. Right marker. Allows you to set the copy end manually. Destination folder. Allows you to select a folder for the imported files. Copy. Copies the files. Copied files. Lists the files that you copied for import. Importing audio CD tracks. Importing audio from video files. Importing audio from video files. You can import audio from a video file without importing the video itself. Procedure. Select File, Import Audio from Video File. In the File dialog that opens, locate and select the video file, and click Open. Result. The audio of the selected video file is extracted and converted to a WAV file that is saved in the audio folder. A new audio clip is created and added to the pool. In the project window, an event referencing the audio file is inserted on the selected track at the project cursor position. If no track was selected, a new track is created. Related links. Extracting audio from video. Importing video files. Import from audio CD dialog. Importing recycle files. Importing recycle files. You can import REX and REX2 audio files created by Recycle from Propellerhead software. Recycle slices a loop and creates separate samples of each beat, so that you can tempo match and edit a loop as if it was made of individual sounds. Prerequisite. REX shared library is installed on your system. Procedure. Select an audio track, and move the project cursor to where you want the imported file to start. If you set the audio track to musical time base, you can change the tempo later on, and the imported REX file automatically adjusts. Select File, Import Audio File. In the File dialog, open the File Type pop-up menu, and select REX file or REX2 file. Select the file you want to import, and click Open. Result. The file is imported and automatically adjusted to the current Cubase tempo. The imported REX file consists of several events, one for each slice in the loop. The events are automatically placed in an audio part on the selected track and positioned so that the original internal timing of the loop is preserved. After completing this task, open the part in the audio part editor to edit each slice separately by muting, moving, and resizing events, adding effects and processing, for example. You can also adjust the tempo and have the REX file automatically follow, provided that its track is set to a musical time base. Note: you can achieve similar results by using Cubase's own loop slicing features. Related links. Slices. Importing audio from video files. MIDI file import. MIDI file import. Cubase can import standard MIDI files. This allows you to transfer MIDI material to and from virtually any MIDI application, on any platform. Importing recycle files. Import options for MIDI files. Import options for MIDI files. The import options for MIDI files allow you to specify what data to include in imported MIDI files. Extract first patch. Converts the first program change and bank select events for each track to inspector settings for the track. Extract first volume/pan. Converts the first MIDI volume and pan events for each track to inspector settings for the track. Import controller as automation tracks. Converts MIDI controller events in the MIDI file to automation data for the MIDI tracks. Import to left locator. Aligns the imported MIDI file to the position of the left locator. Import markers. Import standard MIDI file markers in the file and converts them to Cubase markers. Import dropped file as single part. Places the file on one track if you drag a MIDI file into the project. Ignore master track events on merge. Ignores tempo track data if you import a MIDI file into the current project. The imported MIDI file adapts to the current tempo track in the project. Auto dissolve format 0. Automatically dissolves imported MIDI files of type 0. Each embedded MIDI channel in the file is placed on a separate track in the project window. Destination. Allows you to specify what happens when you drag a MIDI file into the project. MIDI tracks creates MIDI tracks for the imported file. Instrument tracks creates instrument tracks for each MIDI channel in the MIDI file and causes the program to automatically load appropriate presets. HALion Sonic SE Multitimbral creates several MIDI tracks, each routed to a separate instance of HALion Sonic SE in the VST Instruments window, and loads the appropriate presets. Import karaoke lyrics as text. Converts karaoke lyrics in the MIDI file to text that can be displayed in the score editor. If this option is deactivated, lyrics are only shown in the list editor. MIDI file import. Importing MIDI files. Importing MIDI files. You can import MIDI files into Cubase. Procedure. Select File, Import MIDI file. Optional: if a project is open, choose if you want to create a new project. If you select No, the MIDI file is imported into the current project. In the File dialog that opens, locate and select the MIDI file, and click Open. Result. The MIDI file is imported. The result depends on the contents of the MIDI file and the settings you made in the Import Options section of the Preferences dialog, MIDI file page. It is also possible to import a MIDI file from disk by dragging it from the File Explorer/macOS Finder into the project window. The import options apply as well. Related links. Import options for MIDI files. Markers. Import options for MIDI files. Yamaha XF format. Yamaha XF format. Cubase supports the Yamaha XF format. XF is an extension of the standard MIDI file format that allows you to save song-specific data with a MIDI file of type 0. When importing a MIDI file containing XF data, this data is placed in parts on separate tracks called XF data, chord data, or sysx data. You can edit such a part in the list editor to add or change lyrics, for example. Important. Do not change the order of events within the XF data or the event data itself, unless you have a lot of experience with XF data. Cubase can also export XF data as part of a MIDI file of type 0. If you do not want to export the XF data with the MIDI data, mute or delete the tracks containing the XF data. Importing MIDI files. MIDI loops. MIDI loops. In Cubase, you can import MIDI loops. To import MIDI loops, use the MediaBay. MIDI loops have the file extension .MIDI loop. Related links. Importing MIDI loops. Yamaha XF format. Quantizing MIDI and audio. Quantizing MIDI and audio. Quantizing means moving recorded audio or MIDI and positioning it on the nearest grid position that is musically relevant. Quantizing is designed to correct errors, but you can also use it in a creative way. You can quantize audio and MIDI to a grid or to a groove. You can also quantize multiple audio tracks simultaneously. Audio and MIDI can be quantized at the same time. However, what exactly happens during quantizing differs for audio and MIDI. Audio quantizing affects the audio event starts or the content of your audio. MIDI quantizing can affect the starts of MIDI events in a part, the MIDI event lengths, or the MIDI event ends. Note: quantizing is based on the original position of the events. Therefore, you can freely try out different quantized settings without the risk of destroying anything. Related links. Quantizing audio event starts. Quantizing audio event lengths, audio warp quantizing. Quantizing MIDI event starts. Quantizing MIDI event lengths. Quantizing MIDI event ends. MIDI loops. Quantize functions. Quantize functions. The quantize functions are available in the edit menu and in the snap and quantize sections of the project window toolbar and the sample editor toolbar. Quantize functions on the edit menu. Quantize. Quantizes audio or MIDI event starts. Reset quantize. Reverts your audio or MIDI to its original, unquantized state, and resets any length changes that you performed in the quantize panel. Quantize panel. Opens the quantize panel. Advanced quantize. From this submenu, you can select the following functions. Quantize MIDI event lengths. Cuts off the ends of selected MIDI events so that the events match the length quantize value. The start positions are kept. Quantize MIDI event ends. Moves the ends of MIDI events to the nearest grid positions. Freeze MIDI quantize. Makes the start and end positions of MIDI events permanent. This function is useful in situations where you want to quantize a second time, based on the current quantized positions rather than the original positions. Create groove quantize preset. Creates a groove quantize preset based on hitpoints that you have created in the sample editor. Quantize functions on the project window toolbar and on the sample editor toolbar. Apply quantize. Applies the quantize settings. Quantize presets. Allows you to select a quantize preset. Soft quantize on, off. Activates/deactivates soft quantize. Audio warp quantize on, off. Activates/deactivates audio warp quantize. Open quantize panel. Opens the quantize panel. Quantizing MIDI and audio. Quantizing MIDI event starts. Quantizing MIDI event starts. You can quantize the MIDI event start positions. Prerequisite. You have set up a quantize grid on the quantize presets pop-up menu on the project window toolbar. Procedure. Perform one of the following actions. In the key editor, select the MIDI events that you want to quantize. In the project window, select a MIDI part. Select Edit Quantize. Result. The starts of the selected MIDI events or all events of the selected MIDI part are quantized. Events that do not match exact note positions are moved to the closest grid position. The note lengths are maintained. Quantize functions. Quantizing MIDI event lengths. Quantizing MIDI event lengths. You can quantize the MIDI event lengths. Prerequisite. You have set up a length quantize value on the length quantize pop-up menu on the key editor toolbar. Procedure. Perform one of the following actions. In the key editor, select the MIDI events that you want to quantize. In the project window, select a MIDI part. Select Edit, Advanced Quantize MIDI event lengths. Result. The ends of the selected MIDI events are cut off so that the events match the length quantize value. The start positions are kept. Note: if you have selected Quantize link in the length quantize pop-up menu of the key editor toolbar, the events are resized according to the grid that is set up in the quantize presets pop-up menu. The swing, tuplet, and catch range settings on the quantize panel are taken into account. Quantizing MIDI event starts. Quantizing MIDI event ends.